Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have new polling data to share, and it includes Trump's own personal pollster. It's a poll that Tony Fabrizio conducted on behalf of the Washington, or not Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal. Now, unfortunately, these polls that I'm going to share with you, these were all conducted right before Donald Trump's slaughter of the U.S. economy. It was already not looking good for him, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the post Liberation Day polling and the focus groups. So here's what we know so far. According to a CNN poll, Trump's net approval rating is just cratering. So check this out.
Donald Trump's net approval rating, compare it now to where it was at this point in the first term. In the first term, he was above water at plus 5 points. Where is he now? He's way underwater. He is swimming with the fishes. Look at this. He is the worst ever for a president at this point in a term, on record at minus 12 points.
So, moral of the story apparently is that Trump is best at being the worst. And then also last Thursday, Marquette Law School, they released a poll. They completed their poll between March 17th and the 27th. And respondents were asked in general, do you think imposing tariffs or fees on products imported from other countries helps the U.S., hurts the U.S. economy, or doesn't make much of a difference? Among all adults polled, 28% said that tariffs help the economy. 58% said no, they hurt the economy. And then 14% said, nah, no effect. Doesn't really make a difference. I would really like to speak with that first and last group today. But anyway, Marquette also asked if Trump's policies are going to decrease, increase, or have no effect on inflation. The results were almost identical to the other questions. So 30% said Trump's policies will decrease inflation. 58% said he is going to increase inflation. And 12%, obviously rocket scientists here, they said Trump's policies, they aren't going to have any effect. Again, would love to speak to them. They also asked these poll respondents about economic conditions in the U.S. Oddly, there wasn't much of a change from early February to late March, which is just bizarre given what we know. So 26% said the economy is either excellent or good. 53% said it's not so good, and 20% said it's poor. The next answers, or should they say the next question and the answers to this question, they're very instructive for the Democratic Party if they choose to pay attention. Not that the leaders of the party ever listen to their base, maybe one day. They asked respondents about their opinion of Israel, and these potential answers were favorable, unfavorable, or haven't heard enough about it, which I don't know who in the world hasn't heard enough about it, but here's how it went down. So the favorable and unfavorable was evenly split at 43%. The party breakdown, though, is the interesting part. So 65% of Republicans have a favorable opinion of Israel. Only 29% of independents have a favorable opinion, and 26% of Democrats. 63% of Democrats now have an unfavorable opinion of Israel, as do 47% of independents. So that is a very big shift in opposite directions as when you compare it to just a few years back. And it shows why Kamala Harris would have been wise to break with Biden on the funding of Israel. One thing that caught me off guard with this poll is the answer to whether the country is on the right track or the wrong track. Then I looked at the breakdown by party, and it made more sense. So a majority, 58% of respondents, said the country is on the wrong track. But the number of right track answers has increased in every single Marquette poll since October of last year. So it's still the majority says it's wrong track, but the people who are saying it's on the right track has been going up consistently since then. Here's why, though. Look at how the Republicans shot up from 7% to 80% believing that the country's on the right track now that Trump is in office. Independents increased also a little bit during that time. They went from 14% in October to 25% in February and March. Democrats, though, were not excited about the direction of the party or the country, even when Biden was in office. They were only at 33% in October, and now they're at 11%. So it went down, but not substantially. And then I still think this is because, Merrick Garland failed to hold Trump accountable. So Democrats were feeling despondent about that. The overturning of Roe versus Wade, I think, Democrats were like, what the hell? And then how Republicans weren't getting anything done. They weren't doing anything when they were controlling the House, even when Biden was in there. So, yeah, this shows me, it kind of proves in my eyes that Democrats are more realistic about the state of the country and democracy, whereas Republican voters, they're just like, I don't care as long as Trump is pissing off the libs. Yeah, we're moving in the right direction. Next up are the details from the Wall Street Journal poll that I told you was conducted by Donald Trump's own personal pollster, Tony Fabrizio. So he did this right before these some of the tariffs were in place, but before the massive tariff enactment, or at least announcement, came last week. So this was done between March 27th and April 1st. When they asked these people about Trump's handling of the economy, only 44% approve, 52% disapprove. So that is a substantial shift from where it used to be, because, as I keep mentioning, Donald Trump's best issue was the economy. Always. Through his first presidency, after he left office, while he was on the campaign trail. So this is a big shift. And it's a shift even from just October of last year, because back then he had a 50% approval rating on the economy and 40% disapproval. So just monumental shift. The Wall Street Journal also found that a majority of the respondents disapprove of Trump's handling of inflation. And then there was a slight majority, 51%, who disapprove of his overall job performance. But 46% approve of the overall job he's doing. So underwater there, which again, for a Wall Street Journal poll, for a poll conducted by his own personal pollster, not good. So they also asked if the country was on the right track or the wrong track. The numbers were similar to Marquette. So 41% said the right track. And yet 52% of respondents, of all respondents, said the economy is getting worse. So again, a big, big shift. That number, just so you guys understand what a big shift it was, that was 37% just in January. So not last year, that was just in January of this year, people said, yeah, the economy is getting worse. And now it's much, much greater. So, and then this part was the most interesting to me. Of the Trump 2024 voters, so people who just voted for him in November of last year, of the people who took this Wall Street Journal poll, 93% have a favorable opinion of Trump's job performance so far. So there is some erosion, 7%. We're not even 3 months into his presidency. So I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but again, we're so, what, 2.5 months essentially into his presidency. and he's already lost 7% of the people who just voted for him. And remember, he did not win by a lot. So it wouldn't take that much to hand control back to the Democrats in Congress in the midterms. Even if these people say, oh, I could never vote for a Democrat, but I'm just not going to come out. I'm just not going to vote. I'm just, I'm not excited about this. That's enough. That is good enough. And if he continues to erode his support, the Republicans in Congress might actually start to break with him on various issues. They might actually start to stand up to him. Even if you can suppress the other 93% from being so excited about him, even if you can just get them to not issue death threats against Republican lawmakers, that would be a start. That would be good. So anyway, guys, I will let you know if I hear any more. Thank you, sir. When I hear more, because there will be more polling, there will be focus groups. I should have news on that front, on the focus group front, by next Monday. I will have 2, I believe, that are coming out. So thank you all so much again for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe. It is free. All you have to do is click the button below the video. And you will get notified, hit the bell to be notified as soon as I post new videos. And if you can donate, truly appreciate it. It helps to keep the show going. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.